Hello, Margaretan. Welcome. So, more to practice ka past question paper. To prepare for November, right? Okay, for preparation ya November examination. Re paper one. Right, this is mathematics paper one. All right, so our question one. So the way to Arabic the question is it's not like how far the answer fella because of mathematics is practical, it's not just theoretical. Re tlo re he re answer ra nna re ntse re highlighter or re explainer process le di-steps, right, tse di tlhokegang le di-principles tsa teng. Alright, so o ska makala if le re di-answer di ba tse telelenyana, it's because of as re araba mo we are actually also giving a lesson at the same time. All right, okay, so I'll start the question 1.1. It determine without the use of a calculator, so we know how to calculator, between which two integers the square root of 112 lies. Okay, so we determine without the use of a calculator, right? And then determine between which two integers do we find the square root of 112. Now, for example, are the integers that are like a 1, 2, 3, ne? And then another square root of 1, 1, 2, ne? And then another 4, 5, 6. So what they want to know more, kohore this square root of 112 re skra mo kae, but ba nyako itse ka di-integers, right? Ba nyako itse between which two integers, more for example yo ba between 3 and 4. That's pretty much what they want to understand, want to know. Okay, so we're not going to solve step by step and then get to explain the process how we solve. Now, whatever I explain, I apply only to this question. I apply to other questions as well, right? So that's why the answer di ka ba tse telelenyana, but it's because of ke explain the process I ke fe answer fela. All right, re start ka 1.1. 1.1 re no go itse location ya square root sa 112 hore re se kra mo kae between the integers tse dife. So now they've highlighted hore re ska berekisa calculator. Now that means the first thing we have to do, tshwantse re tlhalose or re explain hore what is the purpose yeah this square root sign, right? And then re tlhalose gape hore e bereka byang, right? So the square root sign, what it does, ne? In simple terms, it's whatever's inside this square root sign and then isa or eraser to the power half. Okay, so for example, more null square root 112, this is the same as whatever is inside the square root 112 and then eraser to the power 1/2. Now a similar concept applies if you're running cube root. Let's say the cube root of 112. You're going to take whatever's inside this, ne? And then raise it to the power 1/3. So I'm going to 112 raised to the power 1/3. I can do the same ka fourth root, ne? There we go, 112. This is the same as whatever is inside 112 raised to the power 1/4. Now I want you to check the location, ne? I want to make a fourth root, so that means whatever is inside is raised to the power 1/4, right? And then a cube root, whatever is inside here is raised to the power 1/3. And then a square root, mo square rootung are equal to rona kwala ka mkhweleng re berekisa the square root sign as is, right? And then whatever is inside re raise it to the power 1/2. So you khona bona hore hona le this consistent pattern, ke square root to the power 1/2, cube root to the power 1/3, and then fourth root to the power 1/4, and so on and so on, right? Okay, so now right to hore eliminate bang or function ya square root, and then re itse re se apply bang. So re khona se eliminate ka ho berekisa this the exponent ya represent the root, right? Hele square root 1 over 2, hele cube root 1 over 3. All right. Okay, now the second thing, go understand the implementation or how to berekisa this power half, right? For square root, it will 1 over 3 for cube root and so on. For now, I'll focus on square root. Now, this power half ever useful here nya go determine hore number e leng ka mahare ka mo ke eng ke perfect square or not. So mo re tlo nyaka di here apply square root, re nyaka di fact, re nyaka di actually re nyaka number e ka te multiplyang gabedi, ne ya re fa number e leng ka mahare ka. Now for example, a ke re na le square root of 4, just for example, ne square root e nyaka di roots tsa 4 tse re kgonang ho di square, right? So ke di roots tse di tsa 4 tse re ka di square. Well, first of all, re kana ra lebella di factors tsa 4. For number 4, are di factors tsa teng re na le 1 times 4, okay, ke 4. And then re na le 2 times 2, ke eng ke 4 le yona. And then re na le 4 times 1 le yona ke 4. Okay, so interest ya rena e tlo ba mo, and I'll explain why. Interest ya rena e ba mo because of mo re na le number e 1 or re na le number e kgonang ho te multiplier habedi, right? So e re fa di roots, right? 1, 2, and then the root tse re kgona ho di square. So what does that mean? Instead of ho kwala 4 mo, we can actually more instead of ho kwala 4 re kana ra berekisa exponential rule, ne ka exponential rule. For example, ho na le a times a, ne exponential rule e as long as the base di tshwana, ne we can add the exponents. Now any number or any variable is raised to the power 1. So mo le re sa kwale power 1 or exponent 1, hona le exponent 1 mo le exponent 1. Now because of the base that tshwana, we can say this is the same as a to the power 1 plus 1. Why? Because of the exponent, I mean the base that one, and then this exponent 1 ke a, and then that exponent 1 mo ke e latelang. So as long as the base di tshwana, here multiplier re khona ho etsang, re khona ho add the exponents. Okay, so that's also true for the numbers. Ne more na le 2 times 2, which is the base again, and then any number or any variable is raised to the power 1. Le mo hona le power 1, so re kana ra ekwala mo power 1 power 1. And since the exponent di tshwana, since the base di tshwana, what can we do with the exponents? We can add the exponents. So mo re kana ra kwala base 2 to the power 1 plus 1, which is equals to, maybe let's say 2 to the power 2, and this is the same as 4. All right, so now if fulfill the concept ya rena yang ya square root. So now re na le di roots tse pedi ke tse, again, and then re khona ho di square from here, re khona bana leng square. So re na le di roots tse pedi, re khona ho di square, and then ka square root sign re nyaka eng, di roots tsa number e leng ka mohare ka mo, e leng hore ke eng, e leng hore ke perfect square. So ho ra hore 2 times 2 e re fa 2 to the power 2, which is a perfect square, e representing 4. Now that means we can now say this is the same as whatever is inside the bracket, again, raised to the power 1 over 2. Now what can we say? We can say this is also the same as, now I'll rewrite there 4 as this, I got right or 4, we can take it 2 times 2. And since the base is 2, we can add the exponents. And then 2 to the power 2. So that means we can write 2 to the power 2. Remember, everything is raised to the power 1 over 2, right? Now we can continue and say this is the same as 2, this 2a, KMO, right? And then 2a base in a this exponent. So exponent take a this is 2 times. Okay? Montle mo go na le exponent gape ke eng ke half. So ka include le yona times 1 over 2. Now ka tsa calculator wa multiplier o tlo bona hore this 2 you cancel that 2 and then o sala kang 2 to the power 1, which is 2. So look at your calculator how I can 4 square root of 4 you over 2. So that means or perfect square sa 4 get 2 times 2. Again, because of 2 times 2, we can say 2 to the power 1 plus 1, and then which is 2 to the power 2. So this is a perfect square. And highly perfect square, then this half from the square root sign, you can cancel this square from the number from within the square root sign. All right, so that's the whole point. Square root sign, re how determine the perfect square sa nomoro e leng ka mohara the square root sign. So what we do is we multiply whatever is inside ka half, and then we try and raise this or determine the value of this number e leng hore re ka tsaya base ra square ya re fa the same number. So this is what we are going to do ka 112 hore re bone hore perfect square sa 112 ke nomoro f. Alright, so I'll check the perfect square numbers. Alright, ya mathomo re tla di kwala tsotlhe ka list. Are 1 times 1, this is a perfect square ke 1 square or 1 squared. This is 2, and then this is 1, sorry, not 2. 1 times 1 ke 1, and then 2 times 2 ke perfect square. This is 4, and then 3 times 3, this is a perfect square leona ke 9, and then 4 times 4, this is a perfect square ke 16, and then 5 times 5 is a perfect square. 5 times 5 get 25, right? And then 6 times 6 get perfect square, this is 36, and then 7 times 7 get perfect square, this is 49, and then get 8 times 8 get perfect square, this is 64, 9 times 9 perfect square, this is 81, 10 times 10, this is also a perfect square, this is 100, and then 11 times 11, 11 times 11, 11 times 11, this is a perfect square, 121, and then 12 times 12 maybe, which is a bit too much. 12 times 12, learn like a perfect square, this is 144, sharp. Now number ailing of interest for naking ke 112. Now tshwanetse re lebelele list ya rena ya di-perfect square re bone gore 112 e wela mo kae. Now he re berekisa list ya rena ya di-perfect square o kgona bona gore 112 e re ke kwale mo 112 a ke reka mogara square root sign, so nkana ka ira so 112 is greater than 100. Okay, that's the first thing. And then again 112 ke nyane mo eng 121. So 112 ke holo mo 100, but then again 112 ke nyane mo 121. So clearly it means horing re tlo kry 112 between 100 and square root sang 121. So re tlo kry square root sa 112 between square root sa 100 the square root sang 121. and then the integers tsa teng e tlo bang 10 times 10, which is going to give us a perfect square. Lenge 11 times 11, which is also going to give us a perfect square. All right, so more kanarare square root sa 112, right? So in between, let's say 1 to 1 lenge le 100, right? But before rekare square root, the actual number itself more, so rekanara pumula the square root sign e pen. So more kanarare this 112 is greater than 100, and again 112 is less than 121. All right, so more 112 is less than 121 because of this sign. So pate nyane it means less, and then pate buleiling it means great. So rare this 112 is greater because of this open, and then this 112 is less. So this 121 is greater because of this open part. This one is greater, and then this one is less, right? And then again this, okay, I get a correction more. This 112 is greater because of this open part, and then this 100 is less because of this part here. All right, now mo ne re lebeletse di integer directly, right? Re khona bona hore 112 re locate between 100 and 121. The perfect squares, or the number to define the perfect square get 10, which is 10 by 10, or 10 squared, 11, which is 11 squared, or 11 times 11, which is 11 squared. Okay, but now this 112 bar as a sat, not as a integer. So analyze root sign modimo, okay? So that means for express compare this number to these numbers. Number A it tlo apara root sign. So re tlo reng root sign. So re tlo re this right between this number and this number. But because of this apere root sign, it's answer eng the square root tsa 121 the square root sa 100. All right, because of dioba ro compare ka the root sign instead of the integers, right? Akere as integer are level 112 as an integer, level 112 under the root sign. Center included this root sign. So here included this root sign. Le ka mo to include eng root sign le ka mo include root sign. But because of re nyaka eng re nyaka the integers. Remember re nyaka the integers. So we have to get rid of this root signs here. Okay, we have to get rid of this root signs. So what is the square root of 100? Square root of 100 again. Square root of 100 get 10. Again plus minus, and then square root of 121. Rena one again 11. So the number tse ke di tsaya mo the perfect squares tsa rena. So now we can conclude hore square root sa 112 lies between the integers 10 and 11. All right, so rakwala hore square root sa 112 lies between the integers 10 and 11. So this will be our integers 10 and 11. Remember, this was given in a root sign. So the number tse the perfect square numbers, which relate to the number inside the square root. But then we cannot relate this number kamara square root to the number that is the square root, right? So because of the perfect square, the square root sign for the integers, because of Tanzidia para square root sign, because of elwana ya pere square root sign le tsantsere ya pere square root sign. All right, hopefully that makes sense again. So you take the information area sharing more, you also apply to the next question if necessary. Awarabe question 1 and then rafeta, and then that information is not useful anymore. Some of the information re boneng mo re berekisa hape mo di questioneng tse dingwe tse di tlo latelang in the future. All right, so ka re feditse go araba question eo, on the next video we will move on to simplification. Right, we'll move to 1.2 and then we will try to simplify 1.2.1 the 1.2.2 the 1.2.3. All right, depending on the length of the video and how much information I have to share, right, the greater the videos stay in like small lesson kind of videos, right, because of each and every question it's not as simple as the marks it's on. The marks di kwa tlase, but you do need some depth, right, o tlhoka boteng or depth of knowledge and skills and some rules and stuff like that. So this is what I'm sharing with you ka answer engwe le engwe le engwe. I'm not giving you a 2-minute answer. Go fa answer e ka Setswana gore khone e tlhaloganya le wena, okay? And then gore o kwala test o ska baizisa. All right, so if you find this informative and then if you want to practice the following questions, or your question paper you would get a question paper in just 1 second. All right, so this is the question paper. Read a question paper you would, and then if you're on you can actually work through the given examples or the exercises, right, step by step. And then here it's a question paper, then we'll move to question paper, paper 2, and then we'll move on to the question paper of the previous year. At this point, the Konokra question paper at 2024 for some reason. This is the questions actually. So you can see where it's pretty much the same questions. And then we'll move on to question 2. And then we'll move on AK finance, I think. And then we'll move on to question 3 and then question 4. And so on, right? So if you are interested, if you're not going to join for this practice, then you can like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then also you can follow me on TikTok. I'll try and share the information on the relevant platforms. All right, it's bye for now. Remember, on the next video, the level simplification, which is going to be 1.2. All right, bye bye for now.